sweethearts and lovelies, and welcome to the Wizard of Oz reviews, in which sometimes we go on off-base tangents about 90s time travel show Quantum Leap! I feel better about that. Do you feel better about that? God! What the fuck? So if you missed last time, I got to spin the wheel. We hit this thing called Tin Man, which is a crap sci-fi show that was going to be 3 episodes. And I was like, no, I vetoed that. And then I spun it again, and we got this. So I'm joined by...
We got literally one of the best adaptations of the Wizard of Oz, of the Wizard of Oz books. What could go wrong?
The problem there is that you kind of have a limit on what is considered to be one of the best adaptations of Wizard of Oz, because what's its competition other than anime and Judy Garland?
That's true.
You got Wicked, which is very much a revisionist take on things, and you've got various direct-to-video features which are, and I think you got that Tin Man show, which Fresno really didn't want to do, but is apparently hilariously bad.
And then we found out just how hilariously bad it was. It was hilariously bad. We would have basically clung onto Alec Cummings' performance as the Scarecrow for the entire trilogy.
Well, thank God we don't have to do that. Instead, we just have to talk about one movie. But joining me to talk about that one movie, as usual, Michael Hoovian and Sean Dillon. Hello, welcome. So we're discussing the 1985 film Return to Oz, directed by Walter Murch.
I have a story to start this off. This is one of the... Now, Fresno has always come on about what was one of the most formative adventures of his youth. What made him into the person he is today. When he went on that one journey, and when he went on that one garage sale or bid sale and found the Super Mario Brothers movie and Castlevania 2. This is one of my formative youth moments. When I was about 4 years old, my parents, who at the time worked a lot, and they didn't have a lot of time at home, so they many of the things that they tried to do was they wanted me to be distracted. There was many things in being a 4-year-old. I was rare, but I was smart enough to understand how to work a VCR. So they were able to cobble up some money and get a couple VHS tapes. One was like a couple cartoons on a VHS tape. One was another movie I can't remember. But the last one that they had, which my dad had found when he opened it and said yes immediately. This was during the moment when I was just watching The Wizard of Oz and I had fallen in love with it. And he brought home this brown VHS tape case. It was from like a movie store that it was going out of business. And he handed it and he set it down and I opened it and it was the VHS tape of Return to Oz.
You know, I'm going to mention a synchronicity here for you. I did not have the time and means to locate a proper copy of the motion picture, so in desperation, I turned to a VHS rip from archive.org. So I basically had the same experience my cat when he was a little toddler, watching a fuzzy, grainy VHS rip.
Yeah. But yeah, it was... I had got... Yeah, they basically... I had gotten the VHS tape, and I immediately fell in love with it, which is rare because this movie was meant to scare children.
Yeah, this is a... I've heard legends about this before, so I didn't see this movie until, 5 years ago, when Mike really wanted me to cover it on my spooky season blog. And I was like, okay, fine. And then so I watched, for the first time then, the 1939 Wizard of Oz picture, which is pretty good.
But, which you've now watched how many times now? 4?
No. 4? Two. One for that blog and one for Twin Minds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but and then I watched Return to Oz, and well, yeah, it was interesting, but I can see how it would scare the bejesus out of a child. This was a trend of sorts that was going on back then in the 80s. 80s dark fantasy movies that had liberal uses of nightmare fuel / disturbing imagery. So you had, and these are all varying degrees of spooky, but I mean, I can think off the top of my head the Jim Henson dark fantasy movie, Dark Crystal and Labyrinth. They're not that upsetting, but I'm sure that something upset somebody in them. So maybe something like Never-Ending Story. Legend? Do we count Legend? With Tim Curry's
Black
The Goddamn
Cauldron.
Devil?
Yeah, Black Cauldron.
Black Cauldron, which is the same year as Return to Oz, which I didn't realize until we were talking here before we hit record. Two dark fantasy movies that came out from the Walt Disney Corporation in 1985 that people might have expected to be musicals, but weren't, and instead had upsetting imagery. And I'm a Black Cauldron booster. I haven't seen it in a long time, and it's not perfect, but oh my God, John.
Don, I have an idea. Quickly put it on the no.
No. You watch that shit in your own time. But John Hurt. Oh God, John Hurt is the villain in that.
I justified putting it on the wheel considering it was a childhood favorite of mine. But at the same time, I kind of want to not do that, because if I do that, I'd have to come up with my own as well as one for Mike, which would mean I'd have to include frickin' a different Wizard of Oz thing.
Yeah, and also...
Actually, no, wait, we already have different thing for childhood favorites that affected us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Muppets.
Muppets, Treasure Island, and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, Willy Wonka was my thing. Yeah, but you know what I want to see on the wheel? Some Quantum Leap episodes.
We have plenty of them on the wheel. We just
Why don't we
haven't
keep
them yet.
We'll never spin them if we keep adding things to this wheel. I just wanted to talk about
There's
Scott
only
Bakula.
125 entries, Fresno. Most of them are Quantum Leap.
Yeah. Well, we keep hitting the tangents, and
But
I'm starting to get a alert you.
And Fresno, we know if we keep asking for Quantum Leap explicitly, please give us Quantum Leap. It's gonna give us something like The Trial of Kay McBain or Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah. That's true. But we have.
because the last time you kept asking, we got the evil leapers.
Well, I just want the podcast to reflect what the name of it is, but that's just anyway. Return to Oz is a very interesting motivation, and I want to preface by saying, Walter Murch, you are on a whole other level, because the way I see it, in making this movie, there are two ways you could go, and Walter Murch went neither of them. So the first way would be, of course, a follow-up to the iconic MGM 1939 motion picture. You make something awash in Technicolor. It's this bright and happy musical, fun for the whole family. People fucking love that movie for good reason. It's one of the classics.
They couldn't use that approach because Disney doesn't own the rights to The Wizard of Oz, despite so desperately wanting them.
Well,
like
you give it some time. Who knows?
Every
We're
3 to 5 years, they keep trying to ask MGM, "Are you ready to sell? Are you ready to sell? Are you ready to sell?" And MGM's like, "No, but fine."
Then again, why the hell would they sell now when we're living in like the Oz rent? And despite how you feel about it, the Wicked duology made like $1 billion. So, but the other direction. The other direction Walter Murch could.
Well, actually, MGM did make the Wicked duology. That was Universal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, why are they letting them have it?
MGM got bankrupt and was bought by Jeffrey Bezos.
Okay, that's why they're letting them have it. What? That's why they're letting them have it, I guess. But the other way Walter Murch potentially could have gone is, you mentioned it at the top. One of the other pieces of Oz media I've seen is the 1986 Oz anime. He could have done something like that. a very faithful adaptation of one or more of the books. But they didn't do that either. This movie, it takes two Oz books, jams them into the blender, blends up and mixes and picks and chooses its elements, and douses the entire thing in liberal garnishes of nightmare fuel, and adds Dorothy for good measure.
Yeah, this movie is the second and third Oz books, Marvelous Land and Ozma, throws them into a blender, hits the puree switch, and then when it's done, goes, "This isn't done yet. Throw a bunch of spiders in there, and then it'll be fine."
God almighty. It's so odd, and it's like, Walter Murch, what were you on? And then Sean explained to me Walter Murch's film history, and I suddenly understood.
Yeah.
Sean, for those of you who don't know...
Sean, would you like to tell the people at home just exactly what he worked on before this movie?
Okay, so generally speaking, Walter Murch worked as an editor, mostly in sound, but eventually in film editing, on a variety of films from the 1970s, mostly working with George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola. I say this because 6 years before he worked on Return to Oz, which was his directorial debut, Walter Murch worked on a Francis Ford Coppola film called Apocalypse Now.
The filming of which
there was a 6-year gap in between the release of Apocalypse Now and Return to Oz.
Yeah, the filming of Apocalypse
and this
Now is it's a legendary.
This
it nearly killed. I'm sorry. Jesus, I'm sorry, Sean. It nearly killed Francis Ford Coppola. Okay, I'm done. Go ahead.
This was actually quite helpful because during the production of Return to Oz, Walter Murch was actually fired. But with the aid of George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola, he was able to get the job back and finish the film, with Lucas promising to take over should any more problems arise.
Which surprises me, considering Lucas was coming off of the Star Wars trilogy and Temple of Doom. His life was kind of falling apart behind the scenes, and the original Star Wars made him go, no more directing, never again, fuck that, no. Harrowing, took years off my life.
Yeah, but this was actually, looking at the, sorry.
No, but I just imagine how amazing it would have been to have an Oz movie directed by George Lucas.
No, don't worry, Mike.
He already made Princess Leia look like Ozma. I mean,
no. Actually, we have. I think the closest thing to a Wizard of Oz story from George Lucas, a story about worn out working class person being thrust into a strange magical world that makes absolutely no sense to them whatsoever. A world where all the creatures in it are fantastical and strange, completely alien to them. Is Howard the Duck.
I knew you were going there. Oh God. Yeah, Howard the Duck was a year after Return to Oz. Okay, you could do that. Okay. Let me put down the funny duck movie.
Labyrinth. So is Labyrinth, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yes, mostly about David Bowie and how every teenage girl had an awakening watching him do the magic dance. Multiple girls I know. But Return to Oz is a very interesting film, and the tone of it is a lot darker. I linked a rather infamous thing that still sticks in my craw. The film critics, Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert, who had their show where they bickered about movies for 20 years. They reviewed Return to Oz, and they weren't hot on it.
They said that it wasn't great, but they liked a few things from it, which again is kind of, they took the middle road. A lot of people who watch this movie are of one or two opinions. This movie's fantastic. What the fuck is this?
I mean, both can be true.
But what I loved about Siskel and Ebert's review about it, and what I love about it, is that it's that middle ground of, this isn't what we expected, but there's bits in here that I like. I like the Gnome King. I like this. which is very refreshing of a review.
Then again, there was a lot of Siskel in particular was basically go, well, why isn't it the 1939 movie again? This is dark as fuck.
I think the problem with Return to Oz in general is that it is very much a generic 1980s fantasy movie, which is extremely delightful to see in the 21st century when generic fantasy movies tend to be gray sludge of boring, or the D&D movie.
Oh god, the D&D movie.
I haven't seen that. Is that good?
Or the Borderlands movie. The Borderlands
I
movie.
have seen that. That's a piece of shit.
Yeah, that tends to be, or the Minecraft movie, which.
Or the Minecraft movie.
What is Chicken Jockey?
Okay. Chicken Jockey. I think it's either, and this is coming from a middle-aged person. It's either a reference to something that happened in like a Let's Play, or it's like 6-7, where the joke is that it means nothing and it's funny to bewilder old people with it.
They banned that in schools. Like
Chicken Jockey? Or 6-7?
No, 6-7. Like there are a few schools in America that are treating that like cuss word. Like you say that, you get immediately suspended for the rest of the day.
Okay. To be fair, Mike, I mean, I'm from a generation later than the kids who do that. To be fair, what wouldn't schools ban when the kids are... In my day, it was Tamagotchis and Pokemon cards. In their day, it's 6-7 and cell phones, you know? History repeats!
Sewing machine!
Sewing machine!
Sewing machine. Well, actually, the opening to this movie, the concept of it is pretty fucking dark. It's, So, Mike, you can correct me if this is an element that's in the book or if the 1939 film invented it. The fact that Dorothy wakes up and is like, "Oh, I had a dream, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there. There's no place
now, this is the one thing that the L. Frank Baum estate does not like about the 1939 movie. In fact, it consistently says this is the one thing. They said that Oz has to be a real place. They do not like the 39's. But you were there, and you were there, and you were there. No, right. They don't know.
But this movie is also doing that because.
Well, this movie tries to do. This movie actually tries to do the middle ground. Where is it a dream or was it a real place? This movie does it in the middle, where especially when you have Ozma sending Dorothy back.
Yeah. Ozma showing up in the real world to get Dorothy out of the asylum.
Yeah, that too.
Which, you can debate on whether or not that's a hallucination or if it's like a real thing that's happening. But yeah,
it's like Boogeyman. Yeah, this movie actually is a lot of a lot more of a gray area about is it a dream, is it not?
Well,
than the Boogeyman was.
Yeah. But and also, like the thing where you had the Scarecrow, Tin Man, Lion as the farmhands, you have the doctor of the asylum and the nurse show up in Oz as the Gnome King and Princess Mombi. The latter being played effectively by Jean Marsh, who did some Doctor Who.
Yeah, who would return to Doctor Who in 2 years as the witch Morgaine.
Oh. Which old witch? The Wicked Witch. No, not that one. No, but this is actually quite upsetting and a little fucked up, but I'm under the creed that children's media should be a little fucked up. It should fuck you up a little bit.
Yeah. Basically Dorothy. Basically, ever since Dorothy's adventure to Oz, she's been down in the dumps. Aunt Tim and Uncle Henry. Uncle Henry has been put through the ringer trying to build the new house. He's like, we've got to help Dorothy. We've got to, all she talks about is her trip to Oz, which funny enough, in the 6th book, it's because Dorothy's constant trip to Oz that she's like, well, they're about to lose the farm. Why don't we just all move to Oz instead? And she gets Ozma to move her aunts and uncle to Oz.
Delightful. But,
but yeah, it's and then you have Belina the chicken who we get introduced, and that's when Dorothy sees the first sign of, is it a dream or is Aunt Em right? And this was just a piece of the old house when a key appears in Belina's hay.
oh, it's a key to Oz. Oh, goodness gracious. But, yeah, so the premise is rather they don't believe that she went to the magical land of Oz, and they think she's a troubled child, so they take her to an asylum for electroshock therapy. Jesus Christ!
You know,
Yeah.
kids.
Oh,
yeah, apparently, yeah, you can tell that they're trying to do the 1900s. Well, you see, this is what they would have done. They would have gone to a doctor who would help.
This is
the
the
child.
modern miracle of electricity, Mrs. Gale. But also,
I mean, I suppose if you're going to strip out all the whimsy from Oz, there are worse things you could do. At least it's not Lost Girls.
No, God!
we already did that on this show. Well, you two already did that. I did nothing except lose the footage and make you had to do it twice.
There's a day of reckoning coming, Fresno.
Yeah, and I'm in it.
Over
I'm in it.
You think this is the day of reckoning?
Well, it feels pretty close. Anyway, well, before that day,
You haven't got into that dark mirror yet, Fresno.
No, but there are a lot of mirrors in this motion picture, so that's a help. But
yeah.
Hang on. Just one thing. Just let me make my point real quick. I just wanted to say, this, rather distressingly, is not the only time we have to talk about the perils of electroshock therapy on this podcast. You want to talk about Days of Reckoning?
Yeah.
Jimmy need a shock. Give Jimmy shock. Now you may continue, Mike.
But anyway, to get away from shock therapy, so we go to Dorothy, we go to Aunt Em, who is played by Piper Laurie of all people, which stuns the heck out of me that that she got to be that she's in here. And if you don't know who Piper Laurie is, all you have to do is just think of the movie Carrie.
Or watch Twin Peaks.
Yeah, that's another director inspired by Oz. Oh God, David Lynch doing a straight Oz adaptation would be amazing.
Oh God, I would have lived for that. That sounds good.
But yeah. So after a while, and Dorothy getting ready in her room and everything, they set Dorothy up to get electroshock therapy in the middle of a thunderstorm. What could possibly go wrong here? Oh, the power's out. And, yeah, it turns out Dr. Worley is a horrible human being, because when Dorothy eventually gets saved by the orderly girl, and you start hearing these moans and screams, she flat out says, these are the people that Dr. Worley hurt, locked up in the basement.
Isn't it Ozma who says that?
Yeah, it's Ozma herself.
Yeah,
who says
Ozma's
that.
the orderly.
Yeah.
Instead of doing the weird gender stuff that is, frankly, disreputable in the 1980s for depressing reasons involving homophobia, they made Ozma a regular orderly girl who was in the real world but has to return to Oz while Dorothy is on her own adventure.
Well, that's going into what Mike is talking about, because I was thinking, I was thinking this too during it. Is she really there helping Dorothy, or is it, Dorothy's hallucination that we are privy to?
I mean, if it turns out that is a hallucination, then the girl is dead. She drowned.
If it's if she's real.
Like if she's
No.
if Oz is a hallucination, she drowned.
What I'm saying is, Dorothy got out herself, and
the girl
whole Ozma
drowned.
thing is
The girl.
just a hallucination.
Yeah.
That Dorothy's having her fantasy of Oz, and we are just getting to see that. So
Yeah.
there is
Which
no, like,
I don't think the ending I don't think the framing of the ending supports that interpretation.
fair.
But
Especially with the shot as it becomes clear throughout the credits.
But also,
But
I do share your sentiment that the past would have been a mistake regarding Tip and Ozma doing that story. But on the other hand, I really want to see that in live action. Give me that gender shit. I sat down in front of RPG Maker for 3 days straight, banging my head against the wall to get that kind of gender shit out. And you're telling me you can't put it in the motion picture?
Dude.
I mean, I guess.
Dude, I've been talking about how I want a live-action Wogglebug, and it turns out that in the final scene when everyone's gathered together in the Emerald City, Walter Murch made painstaking detail to get as many Oz characters as he could into that scene.
Oh, wow.
Did he get the Wogglebug?
He got the Wogglebug. He got Glinda. He got Button Bright, Captain Totten, and Captain Bill. He got the Frog, Rinky Tink. He got everybody he could in that scene, in that group shot. He got the freaky Patchwork Girl in one of the in that.
Wow.
Like, he wanted to go as hard as he could into that.
Oh, he went hard. He went fucking hard. And you see how hard he went when Dorothy arrives in Oz, and we're immediately introduced to everything's decayed and in fucking ruin.
Yep. And we also get introduced to something that the 1939 movie passed up: the Deadly Desert.
Yay! If you touch the sand, you turn into fucking sand.
But yeah, so Dorothy lands there, and she's like, "Where are all the Munchkins? All the Munchkins are gone, and the Emerald and the Yellow Brick Road, it's all decayed and ruined, even more so than usual."
Yeah, everything's gone to shit. The Emerald City's in tatters and ruins. Everyone's been turned to fucking stone. And oh yeah, there's a bunch of nightmare fuel lurking about.
Yeah, the Wheelers are actually a thing in the book. I'm gonna pull up the comic version of the Wheelers.
Okay, Michael,
while
you do that, I need to ask. Since it was apparently a subject of trauma for 80s children the world over, did the Wheelers at 4 years old scare the living piss out of you?
No.
Look at this brave fella over here. He's like, I'm not scared of nothing. Meanwhile, here I am at 10 years old watching Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and the part where the beam goes wrong and they fucking that shit.
No, well, I say that, but I'm an arachnophobic, so.
And you, oh god, yeah, and then I get into sci-fi, and I'm scared of horror movies, and like 2 years later, I'm watching fucking Alien. Because
that's just wonderful.
Oh yeah, that's a real joy of a film. Jesus Christ. But yeah.
But anyway, the comic. Oh wait, no, that's, god dang it.
That's like a thumb stamp.
Yeah, let me. Yeah, I was like, why are you so blurry? There we go, the comic version of the Wheelers.
Oh boy.
What do we got?
Yeah, that's Scooty Young, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that looks like a cross between. For some reason, I'm thinking, the Tim Burton Willy Wonka, and Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Yeah. The comics that Marvel did a comics in the 90s and got no, I think not the 90s, in the early 2000s. Was it in the early 2000s?
Yeah, early 2000s. That's Scooty Young.
Yeah. So
because all the variant covers for various Marvel, those, if you see a cute sort of chibi that cover that has sort of a scratchy art style, that's Scooty Young, or Scouty Young. I keep mistaking the pronunciation. There's also a series called I Hate Fairyland, wherein a young girl gets trapped in a fantasy world, and for 20 years she cannot age, she cannot die. I, but she keeps going, but she's trying to escape. Problem with that series is that it's a bit edgelord.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, well, that's an interesting comic for sure. But
anyway, so we get introduced to the Wheelers, who are this movie's flying monkeys, but they are freaking terrifying with their masks.
The mask comes,
and
even without the mask, they're just like giggling. We're gonna rip you to shreds, girly!
And so they chase Dorothy all the way into a corner. She remembers the key that she brought with her, unlocks a door that's behind her, buried in the wall, and is able to escape into this back room in the Emerald City. And we get introduced to one of my favorite characters in the movie.
TikTok is so good.
The Royal Army of Oz. And I love this. I love TikTok so much.
He is
this is a different adaptation. Give me 1 sec to pull up the adaptation. Like, the original Wizard of Oz adaptation was done by both Marvel and DC.
Yeah. The other the other comic is done by Eric Sandover. I have those versions. I have them on my shelf. Because, again, I am the Oz person.
Yeah, I was thinking of the other series. This one, the one you have the cover of from the 80s, was actually, this was published in 1975.
Yeah.
And has Tip in it.
That's Tip. Oh, good. Okay. So this is more in line with the book then.
Yeah.
This one was written by Roy Thomas. I mean,
Okay, what the fuck does tintinabulating mean? Did they just? Is this just like a weird Stan Lee-ism? They needed a word that started with tin to be like, wow.
Yeah, they needed.
Yeah, probably.
But anyway, yeah. So we get introduced to TikTok, the Royal Army of Oz, who actually multiple times says, "I am not alive. I am not a person." But he goes and he's able to. His very functions in life are controlled by three wind-up gears on his sides and on his back.
Thinking, speaking, and acting.
And action.
So, So luckily he's able to get us away from and find out where Dorothy has to go next. As he grabs a Wheeler by the shoulder and is just like, I
am only a machine. It's like he knocks him away by spinning all around, by spinning around and around and around. And then he grabs one and he's like, I am only a machine. So Walter
Murch has seen Doctor Who. He tells Dorothy to go up the stairs.
Oh my jeez. Oh yeah, the Woggle Block.
You guys are making it a job for me to edit this, huh?
Yep. This is a very I'm looking through the adaptation that Marvel did. It is a very faithful one.
That's good.
Hey,
good.
Look,
this is a weird mishmash. We come and nowhere is that more apparent than Princess Mombi, who is not just some dumb old witch who wants to get Tip because he's turned him into a statue, but has basically taken over Oz and the fucking head thing.
Yeah. So I wanted us to read Ozma of Oz I wanted us to read Ozma of Oz before you guys said we're not reading the books, and I said okay, fine. I would have picked Ozma of Oz as one of the 3 books. Princess Mombi, no, it's Princess Langravere of Eve, who basically her personality changes due to the hats. No, not the hats.
Yeah.
Due to the heads that she wears.
I remember
Due to
that.
the heads that she wears.
I remember that from the anime. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they got it. So she basically her different heads are her different personalities.
Which yeah.
Walter
Yeah.
Murch took that, mixed it with Mombi, and
Walter Murch is like, hey, here you go, little girl. Look at my collection of severed girl heads. Which,
and she's like,
I feel like I have to do it.
And she's like, I want one of you, and she's like, I want your head too to join my collection.
Oh, she's mean about it. She's like, oh, you're kind of pretty, not beautiful. Don't misunderstand me, but you're kind of pretty. I'll lock you up in a few years and take your head. And I feel I had to say it. I'm sorry, Kat, if you're listening. But Princess Mombi is a girl after my own heart. She really knows how to get ahead in life.
But no, even when she's walking around like the Emerald City and all the dancing girls have lost their heads. You want to know why they've lost their heads? Because Mombi chopped them off. Mombi went around and chopped off all their heads.
I sincerely hope she took them off before they turned to stone. Otherwise, I mean, they come back fine, and then in the movie
they come back fine.
But still, there are implications. I mean, well, it's an L. Frank Baum adaptation. He does some fucked up shit.
Yeah. Would you like to know about the time the Scarecrow broke the necks of crows? Or would you like the time that the Tin Woodsman chopped off the heads of wolves?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. The Tin Woodsman, the Tin Man cutting off wolf heads. That was definitely a thing I was thinking of. But, yeah, speaking of Oz characters, when Dorothy gets locked in the tower, she meets the best character in the fucking movie.
Some people adore Jack Pumpkinhead. Jack Pumpkinhead is a child.
I'm one of them. I love him.
Yeah, he is a child. He is the child whimsy who's like, here I am. He can barely stand. He has to lean forward with his arms like somewhat stuck forward, and he's like, hello.
Yeah, which he still gives his origin story, which is straight from Marvelous Land of Oz. The fact that Tip/Ozma decided to play a funny little prank on Mombi by making the spooky, scary pumpkin man, and then later brought him to life with the powder of life.
So basically what that means is that Ozma, before she got trapped in the mirror, which is where later on before she got trapped in the mirror, was the orderly girl that we saw. So basically her escaping to the real world to help Dorothy is probably what got her sent into the mirror.
Fancy that.
But they gotta rescue TikTok, and they have to get to, as Mombi mentions, the Gnome King's mountain. The Gnome King is what happened. All they say is that if you want to know what happened to the Land of Oz, you must go talk to the Gnome King. And they go, well, let's build a flying machine.
Yep. This is again straight out of the book, and it's still whimsical and magical. Of course, it has the added nightmare feel of now Dorothy has to take the key from the headless sleeping Mombi to get to her main head and get the powder of life.
Dorothy,
Jesus Christ! Waking up the heads and getting accosted by the headless fucking Mombi.
Dude, that's beautiful.
Oh, is that Ozma? That's really
that's Ozma.
Oh,
that's
delightful.
Beautiful.
Absolutely delightful. Okay, that's going in. We're having some we're adding some Ozma into the podcast. That's a treat. But what were we talking about? Children scarred for life by the headless corpse that's trying to shamble after Dorothy. Ah!
Which is a really cool idea that body and the heads and the body are two different things. Like that's terrifying. To see the body sit up and it's like Dorothy Gale, and all the heads are screaming, all terrified.
Jesus Christ.
And then the head actually smashes open the cabinet with her original head, reaches in and grabs it by the hair and yanks it out.
Christ almighty.
He's like, "Come with me." Like the Headless Horseman.
Hey, there's another Disney movie for you.
Meanwhile, we get introduced to my other favorite character in the movie, the Gump. This Gump is not like the one from the book, who's very much like, oh, what about life? And he talks all philosophical. No, this Gump is the one I thought about more of, which is the more common adaptation of the Gump, which when it's done a couple times besides the anime, it's done more of like the, why am I here? What's going on?
Why was I programmed to feel pain? Oh God.
It's like
in a thrilling bit of visual effects and splendor and escape, Dorothy and friends escape Mombi and fly off into the night sky.
Go and get the bag for me. Go on, get out and go on, and don't forget to bring me that chicken.
Yeah,
if you're wondering why the chicken,
okay. This is a little silly. Well, it's a mild. I mean, later on we see her like going through a tunnel to the Gnome King's mountain and like leading the Wheelers like sled dogs. What? Are you telling me she didn't realize that these idiots couldn't go over the deadly desert without turning to sand? You silly goose.
Well, she probably thought that the couch would fall apart before it got to the deadly desert.
Well, she wasn't that far off the mark.
Yeah.
That shit falls apart and they fall onto the mountain, which is a.
Whoa.
It's interesting effects. I'll give them that.
I love the Gump. I love the Gump. That was a bad experience, wasn't it?
Oh, can we talk about the effects of the Gnome King? I love this shit.
Yeah, when they have the scenes with the various spies in the walls and rocks, that's just amazing stuff.
Yeah, and when they report back and you just see the walls shift, Your Excellency, Dorothy Gale is back. And the way this shit was done. This is claymation done by Will Vinton, who made his name doing claymation with stuff like the California Raisins. And he knocks it out of the fucking park here.
Yeah, this movie, like this movie had greats in it. Like, this is what I mean by I said they put their heart and soul into making this movie work. Mm. They tried to make this movie work. And we throughout this movie so far, you get hints of, okay, why is Bellina the one that they're singling out? Why is Bellina the one they're terrified of? Yeah. We do not meet the Gnome King. Once they get to the Emerald City, the spies aren't there. And then they land on the Gnome King's mountain, and one of the spies reports back, Dorothy Gale has arrived on our mountain, and she has brought with her a small army. What army? She has a couch, a Gump head, a scarecrow, and TikTok. That's it.
Yeah, TikTok says he's the Royal Army of Us. So, and he's small and rotund. She brought a small army.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe some draft of the film had Queen Ginger as a part of it.
Oh God, that would have been something.
That would have been something.
But the Gnome King makes a little argument on, it's this whole thing. Oh, you stole the emeralds from the Emerald City. Oh, I did. And people who steal should give shit back, right? Well, those emeralds were mine to begin with.
Yeah, he literally says that they all mined out the emeralds from my mountains. So originally, they were all mine to begin with. And there's like, but the Scarecrow wasn't there when they did that. Doesn't matter. He was the leader at the time he attacked the Emerald City.
I have to say, comparing, and I know it's I don't know how faithful this is a book. Comparing this Gnome King with the one from the anime, I like this one better.
Oh yeah, I love this one a lot better.
Because the one,
Yeah, this
the
one
one
is
from
a lot
the
better.
anime and presumably the book is basically like, I'm gonna cheat, I win.
Yeah, this one's a lot more menacing in the fact of
Being a giant claymation monster.
Oh, by the way, in his mind, he's already won.
Yeah.
In his mind, he's already won.
Yeah.
All he's doing is mopping up the remains of what's going on.
Which shows in the differences in adaptation with the ornament game that gets played. Because so the idea is, I turned the Scarecrow into an ornament in my collection. If you can find them, you win. But in the anime, he's a cheating shithead, and there's no possible way for Dorothy and the gang to win. But here it's just like, if you win, you can do it. But I'm so confident that I won, and it's like, okay, whatever. But he even does show empathy. He even does show empathy for Dorothy. He pats her on the head. There, don't cry. I'll give you a chance.
Yeah, I'll give you a chance. You want to know why, ladies and gentlemen? What? This is the thing that shocked me when I was a kid. Yeah. Over time, the Gump goes in first. He gets turned into an ornament. Jack then goes in with Bellina hiding in his head, and Bellina's like, "We're a long way from Kansas, Dorothy." TikTok says he has barely any faith in Jack. Like Jack is curious, but he doesn't have the brain power to work out the ornament game. So TikTok goes in, and the Gnome King alone is sitting with Dorothy, and he goes, "You came all this way for a scarecrow. Are you sure you didn't come back for these?" And he reveals his feet, and literally on his feet, shown to the world, are the ruby slippers. Hey. They fell from the sky after Dorothy went back to Kansas, thereby proving that Dorothy did in fact go to Oz. It wasn't a dream.
Mm-hmm. Also, it should be noted that Disney actually did have to shell out to MGM to use the shoes.
Yeah, originally Walter Murch did not want to use the ruby slippers. He wanted the silver shoes. Disney kind of...
Come on, you're making an Oz adaptation. You gotta, we'll pony up for it. Okay,
yeah,
fine,
so they
fine.
So they use the ruby slippers. And the ruby slippers are... There is this GIF there is this GIF that I use all the time.
All the fucking time with this GIF, gang.
I know, all the time, and it's literally him. It's like literally a pullback shot of him with the ruby slippers on his feet, going,
"You can't help them now.
Forget about them. You can't help them now."
Yeah.
And he literally, that's because he's literally offering Dorothy, "I can send you home and you will never think about Oz again." Also, and Dorothy's like, "But what about my friends?"
Also, it's very interesting.
And then he uses her line against her. He uses her own line against her. "There's no place like home."
Damn. But I also find it interesting that for this short part of the movie, that they actually get the actor into the makeup to be the Gnome King instead of just using the claymation monster.
Is it weird that I much prefer this version than the because over time you start seeing him turn more and more human as they lose. As each loses, he gets more and more human. Right before he gets most human, when it's just Dorothy in the ornament game, honestly, though, I prefer this version. The one where he's talking to Dorothy and he's got like that rock texture to him. Yeah. I like this version. But I can understand why you would go then to the Dr. Worley, almost human, but still in clay makeup and stuff like that.
So I'm conflicted about how this next part. I like TikTok's plan where he just stops in the middle of things. It's like, oh well, his gear ran out. You can go in and you can wind him up again. And it's like, oh, actually, that was my plan. That was my plan all along, so that you could see what happens, what kind of ornament I turn into if I guess wrong, and then you have a clue for how the heck you can find the scarecrow. Which, that's smart. Unfortunately, it doesn't help because she loses track of the ornament, and it's just blind fucking luck that leads her to the scarecrow ornament. But also, she realizes, because there's like an emerald there. It's like, oh, people from Oz turn into green things.
Yep, she puts her last faith into the green, and then she says Oz, and then there's the scarecrow, and the Gnome King is instantly pissed at Mombi.
Time to turn back into a claymation monster.
Yeah, like as soon as he puts his hand, like as soon as he's like, yeah. So then you have, so Mombi makes it while Dorothy's inside. Let's show why he gets this pissed. Mombi gets there while Dorothy is alone in the ornament game. And the Gnome King makes her bow and all this stuff. And Mombi is terrified. Mombi's like, she knows too much. What if she finds out? What if she wins the game and finds out about Ozma? That gets him standing up, and you just see how tall he is from the camera. And he goes, Ozma! You didn't let her escape as well!
No.
Like a booming voice. Like that, like how, like that just instantly pissed him off. And then...
Yeah, well, now he's pissed because Dorothy won the ornament game, so time to become a claymation monster, wreck the place, and eat everyone!
Yeah, he eats the Gumps, he eats the Gumps body, which the Gump is like, yeah, I don't have a body anymore. I am now retired.
And then he goes for goodest boy Jack Pumpkinhead. Oh no!
And then we get
egg.
The lowest egg. Egg.
I fucking love how also
my poison.
During all this bullshit, like rock monsters are coming out of the walls from claymation, and as soon as this happens, they start receding, and you can hear them whisper, "Poison, poison." And
poison.
Even though he's made of rock, this is still fucking gnarly as shit. He basically disintegrates into
a skull.
A skull.
He disintegrates into a skull.
Yeah, because eggs are poison because chicken eggs are poisonous to gnomes. That's why everyone was so worried about.
I mean, there's a logic to this. The Gnome King is a rock in organic life, and he has consumed the egg, the source of organic life.
Got a little bit of alchemy going on here. Okay.
Alternatively, given his fear of Ozma, he might just be afraid of eggs.
But what I love about this is that he wanted to become human. Like, he wanted to become human. He literally destroyed an entire magical country all for his joy to become a human creature.
And
like, he literally tells Ozma...
emeralds.
Yeah, he took his emeralds, but he wanted to become human. Like, to him, his emeralds were secondary. When he talks to Mombi, he's like, I will become human, and then I will have everything I've ever wanted. And then as soon as Dorothy gets the Scarecrow, all that goes out the window, and it's like, I must now destroy you all. But then Bellina saves the day, and in the pile of rubble left behind by the Gnome King is the ruby slippers.
Time to make a wish.
Where's all of us from Oz to go back to Oz and return back Oz to what it was.
Yeah, this is also a weird beat because we're like, oh no, we forgot TikTok. Oh no, TikTok is dead. Oh wait, there's a green medal on your horns, Gump. Oh, it was TikTok. Hooray, he saved.
Yeah, they forget. Yeah, they literally said that like they couldn't find TikTok, which it actually does play a bit. Which I actually do like that bit kind of, because they were so scared for TikTok that they literally did not care until the Gnome King said enough of this.
But also, it's a weird beat. It goes by too quick. Oh no, we forgot TikTok. Oh, there he is. Okay, we're fine. because we're wrapping up the movie. It's too late to do the dramatic. Oh no, we lost one of our fellas thing. Like we're at the denouement here. We're at the climax of the film. This is the ending. This is the happy ending, and we're in the Palace of Oz, surrounded by mirrors. Like Mike said, Walter Murch has put every fucking character that was ever in the book into this one scene. So pause your Blu-ray and look at him.
Let's not just say he puts in like every character he can from all the books. All the books that he could. Rinky Tink. I'm trying to find out. He goes Rinky Tink, Captain Bill, Button Bright, Scraps, the Patchwork Girl. He goes. I think he even gets the Tin Soldier. He even puts in there.
And you're there. And you're there.
Glinda.
And Pepe the Prawn is there. Wait, shit, wrong adaptation.
He even puts in Glinda, which that must have been a hard thing for Glinda to be like. What,
okay.
Help throughout this movie?
Yeah, like I don't want to nitpick too hard, but explain to me how the fuck they ruined Oz when you have fucking when you have at least 2 witches of the 4 countries up there. What was is there nap time or something?
What was it? What did they just like go to bed and were like?
Literally in the book and anime, it's like when I think when Ginger
Glinda's
and Mommy
the
take
most
over.
powerful witch of Oz.
When Glinda and Mommy take over, they get Glinda's help, and Mommy's like, "Oh fuck, they got Glinda! Oh shit, we're fucked."
Yeah, because they literally said Glinda is the most powerful witch in Oz.
Okay, someone must have been taking a cat nap. But yeah, speaking of powerful people of Oz, we pull Ozma out of the mirror and we get this backstory. I used to be the slave of Mombi, but then I escaped, and then I got put into a mirror, and I liked it better when it was gender shit. But okay.
The daughter of the king, the daughter of the former king of Oz before the wizard came. And the wizard, in a moment of bad timing or bad judgment, he gave her to Mombi.
Good job.
The wizard goes back to Oz, because the wizard does go back to Oz in the first 6 books. He goes back to stay there in Oz. When he goes back and he actually stands in front of Ozma, Ozma forgives him.
Aw, that's sweet.
Ozma does forgive the wizard for his decision, because he said it was a bad judgment call. I should have raised you. I should not have given you to Mombi.
That's really nice. So, to end the movie, Dorothy goes back to Kansas. She gets found alive and well. And the orderly nurse, who was played by Jean Marsh, goes to jail because the asylum burned down, and the doctor died trying to get after his machine. Oh, I don't trust the machines. And Ozma will always be there. Oz will always be there on the other side of the mirror. The end.
Yep. In this, honestly, if anyone decides to make another sequel beyond this, which would be out of the wall amazing, but if they ever did, this is actual perfect setup to do the. Hey, I could bring my aunt and uncle to Oz.
Mike, I'm just gonna say, with Wicked having made a shitload of money, good luck getting any Oz adaptations that aren't related to that for a while.
I mean, that would mean we'd get at how I put it, Glinda's daughter, who's in a lesbian relationship with Ozma before leaving due to Ozma becoming Ozma.
Oh my god. What?
Yeah, I probably should fully read those books before I lend judgment on them.
Right. Anything else on the motion picture before we give our final thoughts, gang, or any other tangents?
Yes, if you'd indulge me, I'd like to read a brief segment from Darren Mooney's review of the film.
Oh, Darren Mooney. He's a neat critic. Oh, please go ahead.
Go ahead.
There's an artfulness to Return to Oz missing from many of the films that followed over the ensuing decades. It helps that Return to Oz engages with the very concept of a legacy sequel, a nostalgic return to some imagined childhood world. The Wizard of Oz was a movie that felt very much in tune with Roosevelt's America, a country emerging from the Great Depression through the bold new policies of the New Deal. Well, in that sense, Return to Oz understands what it means to revisit this world in the context of the Reagan era. Return to
Oh.
Oz Return to Oz imagines the wonders of this fairy tale world run asunder by greed and avarice, a civic monument turned into an eerie mausoleum as wealth is hoarded in the deepest and darkest caves of this wonderland. There's an appealing weirdness and discomfort to Return to Oz, a film that often seems to suggest that even if one can go home again, maybe one shouldn't.
Holy shit! That goes hard.
That's really good. Like that's a really good just statement. Like, holy cow.
All right. So, what do you think of the film?
It was alright.
Honest-
Yeah, I
mean,
think
this-
it's pretty good. We'll let Mike go last because you've got the most gushing to do. Saving the best for last, as it were. Yeah, I enjoyed the movie. Lots of neat mirror imagery for me. That's a plus. It's a neat little example of that 80s dark fantasy mentality that was going around at the time. It's interesting how we adapt and merge together elements of two Oz books to create this wholly unique thing. And it's well designed, and the effects are neat. They're varying. The best effect is the claymation, and it is a neat motion picture. Michael, gosh,
This is one of my favorite movies. This is one of my favorite movies. I mean, it is on my letterbox, on my favorite films at the top of the list for a reason. It is one of the movies that made me who I am today, that I fell in love with Return to Oz much more than I did the 1939 film, mainly because of just how unique of an experience it is. It is a movie that will claim you will be that's why I always try to get people to watch it at least once. And I always try to get people, because this is the movie this is one of those movies I try to get people to watch, because it is just an outstanding piece of literature, of filming history, and you also see of just how much they wanted this movie to work. And it is a cult classic for a reason. It became the way it is now because people went back to it and were like, yeah, this movie is pretty great, isn't it? And they came back and they saw. This is your 10 out of 10, folks. This is your bench line 10 out of 10 movie for me.
there you go.
I mean, yeah, I mean, this is it. This is your 10 out of 10 benchmark. And the first 10 out of 10 I've given on the podcast. Well, yeah, no, this is the first 10 out of 10 I've given on the podcast.
Nice. Oh, so that was Return to Oz, and which one of you nerds is spinning next?
I am.
Yep, that's Sean.
All right,
Yep,
all right.
Sean is.
Wheel, please. I'm asking you nicely. The tangents are fine and all, but I just want to talk about a nice, good quantum leap that doesn't make me want to bochi ice bath. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, look, is it Buddy? Oh, hey, look, is it how the test was run?
That would be,
Buddy
that would be
Holly.
minor compared to one of the heavier ones, and you know it.
I'm not sure what. Hold on. First off, are we recording?
Yes.
Yes.
I should fucking hope so. But yes, we're recording.
Okay. I'm not sure what Private Dancer is.
That's a quantum leap.
Oh, that's the Chippendales episode.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. We got exactly what we wanted. It's a quantum leap. We're winning, gang. We're winning. This is fine.
Oh God, we got the Chippy Tales episode.
This is good. I like this one. This is good. This will be a good one.
Yay!
All right,
Chippy
perfect
Tales
answer.
episode.
Woo! Okay, we got a
Yay!
Quantum Leap, gang. We're on topic. Thank fucking Christ. All right. So us lovely people, and where you can find us, you can find me on this very YouTube channel, streaming computer video games every Monday and Thursday night. We ended This Way Madness Lies, and we started Donkey Kong Country 3 105% ultra hard mode. That's the thing. I also made a computer video game that you can play on kagamisoft.itch.io. So go there. And also go to FresnoStoryrants.blogspot.com, where I wrote about The Simpsons and I wrote about the computer video game I made. And blah, 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 blah. Michael!
I have a letterbox. I have a letterbox at Michael Hoovian. I have a blog at Michael Hoovian Thoughts at blogspot.com. I have almost reached to the point where my blog posts for this year have reached both the last 2 years combined, and I've now posted more blog posts this year than I have in any other time on my blog. Mostly are about just random improv stuff and everything, but I've done a few reviews on there. You can go all check them out again on the blog. And I am trying to also write a lot more. I'm just generally trying to write a lot more and get some writing out there. Eventually, I had an idea though. We can talk about it as we get near to the end of the podcast. That we should write a book about the ending of Quantum Leap and how it made the three of us feel.
Now that is an interesting.
I'm not sure if I have enough to say about the ending specifically. My sole take on it is the ending is perfect.
It is. It is.
Okay,
I know.
okay.
I can expand on that.
I can. Yeah, but I just had that thought. We can talk about it when we get closer to the end.
In about 5 years, but that's okay. Sean.
In about 5 years.
What you been up to?
I'm podcasting with a different podcast, Common Writer Reviews, both for Zets and for Gaim. I currently work for various publications, including in Arcfield Press. That's also The Beat. I'm currently working on multiple books. This month I'm going to be starting to write About Space, a book on the entire history of Star Trek from 1966 to 2026. It is a depressing book that ends poorly given history.
Can you send me the email about Adobe Sign?
So also, I want to mention that I'm coming back to the Common Writer podcast. I spent the work week catching up with Gaim.
Isn't that bad?
No. But you understand. You understand the psychic damage that has been done to my soul in a short period of time.
Well, yeah, I've watched friggin' Modica.
I'll betray anything and everyone.
That's going to save it. Start in, I think we're going to probably start recording that in April and publishing it in May.
Oh God, Sean. They don't know the depths of Modica like we do. Oh no. Oh yeah, no.
There's a reason why I'm opening with 3 side trips.
Yeah. Well, yes, the Modica podcast. Yes, so that is going to be absolutely splendiferous. Anything else, John? Or shall we say goodnight?
Yeah. One day I will get to pick something on the fucking wheel. I will get to pick a side trip.
I know you will. Well, technically you picked Adolescence of Utniferous.
Yeah, but I haven't hit Sean pick something.
I've only hit Sean pick. I've only hit a pick twice. Two vices. So you'll get it.
I haven't gotten anything. I've only ever gotten.
You haven't gotten anything, he says. And we're on our 3rd Oz podcast on Quantum Leap Reviews.
And you also did Murder, She Wrote.
And Murder, She Wrote.
And Murder, She Wrote. Yeah. So, if there's nothing else, then we'll say goodnight to you. So, Thank you very much for watching our discussion on Return to Oz, and join us next time, hopefully, for a quantum leap again, as we learn how to dance and how to do wonderful things in Private Dancer. Until then, gang, you have a good one, and I hope you enjoy whatever it is you watch next. Bye now.